Welcome to Video Production FIAR 432. I'm the instructor of this course, Michael H. Meehan. I want to welcome you to this class. We will be presenting you a series of the streaming videos. This is the distance learning format of this course. You'll be provided with modules. After you finish watching the modules, you'll have some questions to answer, and your grades will be primarily based on your answers to the questions, your responses, and several assignments that you'll be given during the course as we move along. This is a 3-hour credit course. I expect you to do what you are supposed to do as assigned to achieve the grade in this course. You will separately receive by email your syllabus and various assignments and handouts. The requirements are a little bit different in terms of the execution of the course, but the actual content is pretty much the same for the face-to-face meeting students and those that are taking this course as a distance learning course, a telecourse, so to speak. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this, and we will be beginning in a minute with the first part of this course, Module 1, the Introduction. The first thing to do in this class is to understand how to participate. Basically, you will open your email, click on the URL to watch the video stream. The URL starts with the HTTP, and when you're finished watching the video, you'll click on Reply, answer the questions provided, then click Send, and you're done. Respond to each email and wait for further instructions down the line for any other assignments. But basically it'll be these email formats that we'll be working on. Whether you're taking this course as a distance learning course or in a face-to-face format, there are certain objectives that we have in this class. And you can see the list here. Basically, we want to expose all majors to the possibility of video in their various disciplines. To briefly touch upon the history of video, provide basic language to operate intelligently in many video environments, to expose students to the art of composition in video, to expose students to the symbolism of images in video contexts, to provide enough hands-on exposure to give students a start in camera operation, to expose students to the concept of video literacy, to better understand this medium and to understand how one can be manipulated by it, to assist students in making informed choices in purchases of video cameras and compatible computers and laptops, to produce several short in-class or via distance learning video productions, to produce one final video production, to permanently change students' perception of film and video from a passive one to a dynamic one. There are 3 major areas of technology. Most people don't realize it, but there are 3 areas. They are video, voice, and data. These comprise the major impact of data in our daily lives. We all know what voice is. We use them every day. Telephones, voicemail, any number of other ways in which we communicate by audio. Also, radio could fall under that category of voice because you're basically using radio frequencies. Cell phones are basically radios. So you're actually using any number of these technologies, and you may not realize that they all interact in certain ways. Data we of course use, and before people had personal computers, people would do data processing. Now everybody has a personal PC or a personal computer, which what PC stands for, and we all do data this way. Because of the telephone lines that voice provided us, we were able to then expand that to what we know as the internet. But video is everywhere. Video is far more penetrated into the worldwide community than any of the others. There are more televisions spread out than telephones or computers. A lot of people don't realize that. Of the three areas of technology, video really is, in many respects, the most profound in its impact on human life. The average person will watch approximately 11 years of television, particularly in our country and in the developed countries. This is true. As far as data goes, data is about half as penetrated as video. Voice, of course, is all around, and after 2002, 2003, there were more cell lines or more wireless telephones than wired telephones. So we've seen a major impact. But it's interesting to understand that technology is actually, if you go back to the ancient Greek, the ancient word techne means art. And this is an art course, and even though we use technology in it, we're going to be focusing in this class on the art aspect of this technology with the use of these various kinds of equipment. Since the dawn of time, humans have wanted to record images and to use these images to impart meaning well past the time of their actual creation. This has been done through art, sculpture, but most importantly through language and through the recording of symbols and symbolism. And this art that we're working on now, the art of video, is a grand extension of this same project, this same initiative by the human species to record images and to make them do things. Certain key elements led to where we are now with video, primarily with the invention of photography in the early part of the 1800s, the development of motion pictures at the latter part of the 1800s, and with the evolution of cinema and film from the early part of the 1900s to where we are today. Another key element is that of radio broadcasting. While all this was going on, people were communicating wirelessly, and radio was a key factor in this, particularly because it provided audio. The early films that were produced had no sound, had no audio. But as the evolution of audio through radio broadcasting developed, and of course through telephone communication, people began to want to have sound in their motion pictures and to be able to send this wirelessly. And so radio really set the stage for this part of the evolution of where we are now with video. Television was evolving at the same time, first with mechanical television, which we're going to look at in a minute, and then electronic television. But even when television came into its own after World War II, it was really the news gathering process that led to the development of smaller film cameras originally. And so people would go out with film cameras and then bring them and broadcast them over radio frequencies as television signals. So really it was the film news gathering that led to where we are today. The original video recorders were way too large to carry, and the original video cameras that they came out with were way too large to carry. So they had to use film cameras, which were much lighter and had evolved to a much more portable format. This led to eventually, with the development of videotape and of smaller portable video cameras, the possibility of electronic news gathering, what they call ENG. And the thing that really has made video a possibility for individuals was for the evolution of much more affordable small cameras, camcorders, palmcorders, and so forth. The regular electronic news gathering cameras were easily in the $50,000 range or more. And with the evolution of much more affordable small cameras, individuals could then begin to participate in the field of video in a very practical way. And it is now as common for someone to have a video camera as it is for them to have a laptop or a cell phone. Going back a ways, before there was electronic television, there was mechanical television. And while there were several patents for the ideas prior to, John Logie Baird is considered to be the father of mechanical television and was able to produce the first working model of mechanical television, which actually was used in broadcasting early on. Mechanical television used a rather unusual mechanism, a spinning wheel with a kind of a spiraling keyhole that allowed you to scan an image in a circular fashion. And this was accomplished something like this, like you're seeing here. And the spinning wheel would scan the image, and you would actually see an image appear. But again, it was very simple, and the resolution was not very good, and so really something better was needed. The father of electronic television is Philo T. Farnsworth. He actually got the idea of how to properly capture images by the process of plowing a potato field. He basically realized that by scanning the field with the plow back and forth without ever lifting it out of the ground in a zigzag kind of pattern, that you had one line that scanned the entire image, much like this, and that the image could then appear in this scanned format and then could be reproduced. It could be scanned and then reproduced at the far end using this particular technique. So I particularly do want you to know who the father of electronic television is. It's very important because this is really the last year in which the Philo T. Farnsworth system will be used in its original type format with the date February 17, 2009. We will be leaving analog electronic television and moving exclusively into digital electronic television. So it really will be the end of Philo T. Farnsworth's initial contribution, although we still are scanning, and so the Farnsworth contribution is still important to keep in mind. And so I do want you to know who the father of electronic television is. Mechanical and electronic television, as we have looked at here, were both what are referred to as analog formats of communication, analog formats of television. If you look at these pictures here of me in various formats, you'll see in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a fairly normal looking version of me. In the next one, I've been digitally manipulated and in essence have been changed, but I am still what you would call an analog. These are all analogs of the same original form, which is my actual human form. These are not my human form, they are merely analogs. The word analog means, ana means same, log means form. It means they have the same form. All 5 of these pictures are analogs. They all have a certain amount of sameness to them, but they're slightly changed electronically. Some are more recognizable than others. And even the picture at the lower right, which is a moving picture, is an analog. It is not me. It looks like me. If you saw it, you'd say, oh, okay, that's Mr. Meehan. But in fact, it is an analog of me. Now, it is presently being recorded on a digital medium, and we're going to look at what that means. But I do want you to understand what an analog is. You probably have heard of the term analogy. A typical analogy would be that the sun is to the earth as the desk lamp is to the desk. Okay, it's a light source and something that is illuminated by it. The idea of the analogy is that you can see a relationship by seeing the same form. And this is what the importance of analogies and of analog is. Even though we talk about digital and analog, all imagery, all communications, all the things that we do as human beings basically involve analog. But when the analog is changed into a digital format, we refer to it as digital, but really it is still a digital analog. But we have now, just as a matter of convenience, lumped analog into one category and digital into another. But even digital is an analog format. The key thing to understand in the relationship of analog to digital is that in the technology that's involved, if you look at this divided page here on the analog side, the signal source defines the coding. Nothing is exact. Reproduction is subject to increasing error when making copies. The problem with analog is that it is not exacting. No copy is exactly the same. Every time you record an analog signal or an analog image, like a video image, you lose a certain amount of detail. It's very much like that children's game we used to play in school called Gossip, where you'd tell us a short story to the first student, they'd then whisper it into the next student's ear, and so forth on down the line, till by the time you got to the last student in the class, the story would be completely different. That's the problem when dealing with analog. Digital imagery and digital signal coding is crucial here. What happens is the signal is immediately coded into ones and zeros, and therefore the code defines the signal. Everything is exact, and reproduction is not subject to increasing error, because a 1 is always a 1 and a 0 is always a 0. Copies are always exact. So digital formats are basically superior in this fashion. You can be certain that the image will be the same. And then, of course, when you get into dealing with computers and the like, because signals are coded with ones and zeros, you can then tell machines like computers that basically the signal will say I'm a video signal, or I'm a computer signal, or I'm a telephone signal. And because of that, these signals can become interchangeable, and that's what's made possible the ability to send video over computers, telephone over computers, computers over telephone, and so forth. Each of them can understand each other because the ones and zeros break down the communication barrier. This is the conclusion of Module 1. I now want you to close the video, click on Reply in your email, and then answer the questions that are below the URL. When you're finished, click Send, and you're done. Respond to each email that you get this way, and wait for further instructions about the various other elements of what we will cover in this course. But primarily, this is what you're going to be doing mostly for this course as a distance learning format of video production FIAR 432.